Good morning.
Morning.
What did Mitch put on here? It's mostly dead. In
tell
parentheses,
people what you're
mostly.
referencing.
So we have a guest rundown on our station or our show Twitter page, and Mitch makes the headlines.
There's a graphic.
The graphic and the headlines, and it says it's got a picture of Andrew and Kevin, and underneath it says Wednesday, November 5th, 2025, 8 o'clock around the AFC North. Ken Wyman, James Rabin, Andrew Filipponi, and then right above it says in parentheses mostly, and then after dead at the deadline. Mostly dead at the deadline.
Is that not accurate?
Wouldn't we just be dead at the deadline?
Oh, so fully dead.
I want to know how much. You're either dead or you're not dead. There's no mostly dead unless we're doing Princess Brides here. So you're either dead or you're not dead. You can come back to life, but for a moment you're dead. So there's no mostly dead.
Mitch is on mic.
Mitch.
Yes.
Mitch is already mad.
Mostly mad.
Mitch is mad at the.
You're either mad or you're not mad.
You're either mad or you're not mad. Mitch can't be mostly mad. Mitch.
I'm here.
Are we dead or are we not dead?
I was saying that in reference to the amount of moves we made yesterday, not the current status of the team or any of its staff.
Okay. Well, that's okay.
Stop doing that with your voice.
It's okay, Mitch. Mostly dead at the deadline. Well, do you think that we're dead or not dead?
I don't really know at this point. I was in reference to the amount of moves that people thought we were going to make yesterday, especially with all the reports that we were buyers.
We were going to go on a spending spree yesterday.
Who were we going to go out and get, though?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
That was up to the Browns, and apparently they either tried to make moves and didn't get them, or they weren't going to make moves at all.
Do people feel silly buying into that report now? Like, were there actual expectations? When Adam Schefter says it.
No.
I mean, he put a stamp on it.
No.
He went out of his way to throw out a tweet.
Yeah, but he kind of put a little bit of cool water on that and was like,
Well, why did he have to put it out to begin with? What, the Browns told him? Put this out. Let them know.
Well,
we're back.
Wait a minute. You're telling me that they told Adam Schefter to just put something out there?
Why would he feel compelled?
Reckless speculation.
He is a reporter, sir, intrepid, a journalist.
He's a regurgitator of PR releases before they come out.
At one point, I kind of went down that line a little bit some years ago, and somebody told me, if you value your career, you'll be very careful how you say this.
I've seen the tide has turned on this, though.
That was said to me. Hand to God.
At a dinner?
I've seen over the last week, there have been podcasts about this in journalistic circles.
So I was just the first one to it?
You were way early.
Okay.
But yeah, go back now. Why do you think Adam Schefter felt compelled to put out a statement about the 2-6 Browns and that they'd be buyers at the deadline? How silly.
Why would the Browns,
Why did he
say
think that would be important?
Why would the Browns want that out there?
I don't know.
We're going to be buyers?
That's so...
They don't want that.
So maybe they wanted, instead of calling every team, you just have Schefter put it out and have, the low-level employees in every organization in the NFL go, hey, boss, look, the Browns are willing to buy this and do this. Like, it just made no sense to me whatsoever.
Maybe it was a team that sold a bunch yesterday and said, I think the Browns are going to be the buyers so that the Browns weren't sellers and they could sell their things and they could sell their cornerback for 2 first-round picks.
Well, so the Jets were putting this out there?
That sounds like heavy-duty chess.
That's 6D chess.
A lot of these.
Yeah, that's a hell of a lot. Okay, so you and I, we kind of fleshed this out on the air, and you and I, because I've waffled back and forth. There's been some. I've had my flip flops on here and there, because when you go through a season like this and you have this much tied up in certain players, it makes you think crazy things. And so I fleshed it on the air with you last week about Miles and whether or not you move on from Miles, and I go, during the season it just doesn't seem to be the prudent thing. I think maybe we'd reevaluate it. I think it gets reevaluated every cycle. There's 2 cycles. There's really the off season, and then there's right before the trade deadline. So you kind of go through this, and I think right before the draft is when you consider such matters. Unless somebody's like, I'm not playing, I'm having a holdout, not showing up to camp, this, that, and the other. Then maybe you gotta hit the nuclear option, like what happened with Micah Parsons. Okay, But I think that we'll go through this again with Miles. But I said, all right, let's go to the wintertime because you might be able to get a team that's talking themselves into making a run, and you might be able to get a better draft pick if we're really going to do this, a complete liquidation, a complete dead cap situation for picks. And then they traded Sauce Gardner yesterday with the Jets. And I kind of had to sit there and go, dude, if they're getting 2 first-round picks for Sauce Gardner, what the hell could we get from Myles Garrett? I mean, before it was like, well, you can get 2 or 3 first-round picks. 3 first-round picks for Myles Garrett seems good. If you're getting 2 first-round picks, like Sauce Gardner's good. What's Sauce Gardner's real name? Because if his name was not Sauce, okay, if it was just Ahmad Gardner, I don't care. You're not 2 first-round picks. I don't care. I'm telling you right now. If he just went by Ahmad Gardner, he's a good player. Is he 2 first-round picks good? No. Yeah,
but I thought about that too. Could it just be that teams aren't willing to, like Miles is just too much money. Too much money in terms of picks. Too many.
Maybe.
Like, is it just that teams won't, because the league changes so much not every 2 years, every year. Like I heard a podcast overnight, and it was 2 NFL guys, but they were breaking down, the Colts giving up a pick in 2 years, and they're like, will Daniel Jones even be their quarterback in 2 years? Like, this stuff changes so fast. This is very risky to even go into the well 2 years from now when, they have the toughest, like the Colts have the toughest schedule the rest of the year.
Uh-huh.
They could bottom out. Like, they could go on a negative run here.
They very well could. And
so that's why I think teams might be really hesitant. But it's 3 first-rounders for Miles. Like, what does this all mean in 3 years? Our team could be rebuilding by then.
Okay, but at the same time, you're right about that. But I think the conversation has changed so much. Like, before, this is what I yelled. Like, some people were getting mad at the Browns for not tanking like the Jets. And, guys, I can see some of the other side of the argument. I'm not that rigid about it. You know where I stand on tanking, but my rigidity is still not where, like, okay, the Jets got a lot of talent on the defensive side of the ball. They can't do anything with it because their offense can't do anything. So except for against the Bengals, who have a terrible defense. So you have to have a good defense, but you really have to have a really good offense. And if you have nothing on offense, it's like, okay, well, we're really kind of dead in the water. And some people are going, well, here, Browns, you see what this is? I go, okay, but I don't think it's the same thought of we have to have the number 1 overall pick now. We have to have that guy. It has to, because I think we're learning more and more, hey, man, they come in different places. And there's plenty of good teams that have traded up, traded back into the first round. They got a good system. They got good coaching. They are a stable organization. They have stability, which I know. And then they're able to provide somewhat of a decent runway for the quarterback. But right now, you look around the league. I thought about this earlier this morning on the drive in because I heard Peterlin talking about it, and they were mentioning Kyler Murray right as they brought on Albert Breer yesterday, and I'm going, man, Kyler Murray, they want him to go away. That's a lot of money. Tua, they want him to go away. That's a lot of money. Deshaun Watson, we want him to go away. That's a lot of money. And you're going, man, who do you really want to pay now? Who do you really want to pay? Like Bo Nix? Is Bo Nix out of the woods? No. Is J.J. McCarthy out of the woods? No. I hate to say it, is Jaden Daniels out of the woods? Now he's not. So there's a couple guys you think might have that chance, but right now the usual suspects are getting paid. But I think that we have to change our thoughts on you get that number 1 guy and you set sail for the rest of your lives and you pay him $500 million and that's it. No, because even that number 1 guy is found in different places, usually in the first round, absolutely within the first round. But that guy is found in different spots where you kind of got to do your homework and got to find the right guy and you got to put him in the right situation. You got to incubate him again. Okay, so this all leads to the obvious question about who's doing it right. Are the Jets doing it right or are the Browns doing it right? Because you can make the argument that these two teams are kind of in a similar spot. Can I say neither? Well, let's be clear about the big difference here. Why do you think the Jets truly did make those moves and trade their young, talented defensive players? Why did they do that? They fired Joe Douglas and they hired their new GM in January. Mm-hmm. That new GM came in, and Albert Breer kind of spoke to this yesterday on the afternoon show. That new GM came in, and what did he observe? We're not as good as the previous regime thought we were.
And I've said this before, that if a new GM came in, and this was the offseason when Myles Garrett was looking for a trade. If a new GM had come in last offseason and looked at the Browns setup, what would that GM have said? We got to trade Myles Garrett. I mean, that's just what a new GM would have said.
Yeah, that's true.
So they have now done it. They've made their trades. And you're right. Like, we all think Myles Garrett should get so much more. Again, sometimes the price is just too much. But in this situation, like, we're going to be monitoring. Who knows if the Jets make the right picks, right? But they have definitely secured the runway over the next 2 seasons. This isn't just 1 year, and they diversified, like you said. Like, if the Browns are going to make deals, it can't just be about first-round picks in this draft. It has to be.
Yeah, they got like 3 and 4 or something in 2027.
And they're making
ridiculous.
it. I know we could be wrong in 2 years, but they are making it seem like 2027 is the draft that you want to be in. Who knows? Who knows? We're guessing on stuff, and we would all thought Archie Manning would be in this draft, and he's not going to be. So, and he's not. We don't even know how good he is right now. So,
had a good game on Saturday, but that's bogging it down. Go ahead.
So all I'm wondering is, are we sure that this current regime is not overrating the roster and the state of affairs here? Are they delusional? Are they acting like the Homer Browns fans that are always in defense of, we're not that far away, we're not that far away? The Jets said, we're far away. We are far away. Let's go. Let's get these picks. Let's take advantage of the market out there, and let's secure the footing for a new foundation.
I can't make a choice. I can't make a choice because their history. Neither team's history tells me that they're. I'm not talking about history.
This is a new GM.
Okay.
I'm talking about the future.
I mean, we've had new GMs too, and I cannot tell you how many. I mean, I've been paying attention to the NFL draft, Tone, since I was a small kid. I used to take the rooster thing on the stove and turn it to 15 minutes and kind of play along on a Saturday morning or Saturday midday. You can ask my dad. Like, I paid attention for a long time. In 39 years on this earth and 34 paying attention to anything that comes with the NFL draft ever since I was a small kid. The Jets have won the draft, quote unquote. I mean, half of that time at least. Half of that time at least. And they've, with the exception of a couple of years with Parcells, they've always been a gag. And 1 year with Rex Ryan, they've always been a gag. And with the Browns, how many times have we, quote unquote, won the draft? And we've always been a gag. But I can't.
I haven't thought we've won very many drafts. I know people in town think we've won a lot of drafts. Well, I certainly haven't.
Okay, there's some homerism there, obviously. But still, there's been plenty of people that have said we've won drafts on both sides. So I can't say because of the Jets' history that they won. But am I getting any better for the future with, I don't know, paying into Myles Garrett? Myles Garrett's always going to be good, so at least you set your watch to him. All right? My offense, I've talked about it a million times with you. What am I going to do with my offensive line? Like, if the only thing this does is like, okay, after 4 o'clock, let's work on an extension with Wyatt Teller. Let's get him at least taken care of, and then Luke Whippler, and then let's see if we can build inside out where now I got 2 fists and I got to work on the other 3 for crying out loud. That's very difficult. In the secondary, yeah, there were some guys that you could possibly move from, but again, you don't want to mess with it because I think that they may be thinking if we can just make some of the right moves, the rookies are ahead of schedule. If we can make the right picks and then find the right young man, which that's what everybody's looking for, I understand, then we're going to be in a Commander situation last year, but you don't want to look at it and say, let's bring in a bunch of guys in 2027. Like, I look at 2026. I think the runway would be, get me a young guy, let's see where this goes. Get me a reclamation project even, and let's see where this goes with a young guy. Hint, hint. Then, okay, let's bring in some guys to protect him. Let's make sure we're taking off. And then let's see what we do in 2026. 2027, maybe it changes a little bit, but I don't want to just bring in a bunch of different guys the way that Washington did and kind of bog it down if you want to do that. So the more I talk, the less faith I have in either team. Either team. I don't think that this is a we're doing it right, they're doing it wrong situation. I think these are two teams headed to the same place. They're just doing it a different way. I got no faith.
I get that. I wouldn't have faith either. If I were a Jets fan either, I wouldn't have a ton of faith. But I do know one thing. The only way out of this is the draft. The draft is going to be the only way out of it for all these teams. You're not going to free agency your way to, stardom and to Super Bowl contention. It's got to be through the draft, and the Jets just opened up their possibilities and gave themselves more of a chance than the Browns did.
But it's the same old characters. If the Chiefs somehow did something like this, if the Ravens somehow did something like this, I'd be paying close attention. But it seems that the teams that always like to do this, Jets,
teams
Browns,
drafting at the top of the draft.
Washington, look at the NFC East right now. The Dolphins, those teams that you always see doing that, they're always near the top of the draft all the time. Losing teams just continue to lose. It's a body in motion.